We're back talking about Emiru once again, and that's because both Twitch on their official account and the CEO of Twitch, Dan Clancy, have responded once again apologizing to Emiru and trying to make things right over what happened at TwitchCon to Emiru, where she was attacked by a crazed fan. Now, you may remember that Twitch's initial response was met with a little bit of criticism, but today's response is still pretty bad. That's right, let's read this real quick. Twitch tweeted out, "We wanted to follow up on the post we recently made about a security incident at TwitchCon San Diego. As many of you know, at the 2025 TwitchCon San Diego event, one of our valued creators, Emiru, was assaulted by an attendee during a meet and greet event. Although Twitch works very hard to try to keep TwitchCon attendees safe and to prevent incidents like this from happening, we failed to do both things in this case, to keep Emiru safe and to prevent the assault from happening. We deeply regret the distress we caused for Emiru, our other creators, and the entire community. In recognition of Emiru's advocacy, Twitch will be making a donation to support non-profit organizations working to prevent sexual violence. More details on that to follow soon." So basically, what I think happened is Emiru's lawyers got in touch and Twitch is trying very hard to cover themselves here. This statement is completely useless and honestly kind of offensive, because when you think about it, what they're saying here is, yes, Emiru was attacked. We tried really hard to keep her safe, but we couldn't. And we're going to try to distract you with a donation in order to make you less mad at us. Right? They're basically trying to buy their way out of this controversy by making a donation to some random charities. Also, when they're saying they're recognizing Emiru's advocacy, what does that even mean? Emiru wasn't advocating for anything. She was attacked at your event. That's not advocating. She's a victim. It blows my mind that if they were going to make another post, even after the last two already got them in trouble with their community, they wouldn't try to make it a little bit better. And you can tell people were a little mad about this because you can see the community note here. Twitch has lied on several occasions regarding the incident, letting the assailant go after the attack and withholding evidence from authorities. This is incompetence. Dan Clancy called Emiru a friend, despite going on to victim blame her, and was out partying during all of this. Pretty brutal Twitter community note, to be honest with you. And when they say that they were withholding evidence from authorities, the reason for that is that during one of her streams, Emiru revealed that Twitch, despite saying that they were working with law enforcement in this statement here, which we might read in a minute, but they said they were working with law enforcement and event security to respond to the incident. Well, Emiru alleges that they did not help the police. They were refusing to turn over the name of the man who had attacked her to the police for really no reason, except I think they were worried that they might get sued by the guy for outing him to the police, which is crazy because the police are investigating a crime, right? Why wouldn't you turn him over to the police? And that makes no sense at all. That's just stupid California brain thinking. Anyway, talking about stupid California brain thinking, we can take a look at what Dan Clancy put up, because he personally put up another tweet about this as well at the same time as the other one. Now, if you don't know Dan Clancy here, he is the CEO of Twitch. I'm not sure how much longer he'll be able to use that title because I think he really should resign. But that being said, he retweeted the thing we just read and he made a statement himself. What Dan Clancy said was, "Twitch failed in our response to the assault of Emiru at 2025 TwitchCon San Diego. And in particular, I failed to communicate clearly in talking about the incident afterwards during an interview. I do not believe and in no way intended to suggest that Emiru had any responsibility whatsoever for the incident at TwitchCon. I have a great deal of empathy for what creators such as Emiru have to deal with every single day. I was trying to express that and I did that poorly. I am sorry to let you down, Emiru, and I am sorry Twitch let you down. We appreciate all that you have done over the years on Twitch, and we are committed to continuing to improve our TwitchCon security, processes, and communications so that we can show up better for you and all of our creators moving forward." Honestly, I hated this entire statement, but this last part where he implies that there's going to be future TwitchCons is the craziest part of all of it, because I don't think any creator is going to go to the next TwitchCon at this point. At the TwitchCon this year, you had a creator assaulted, you had VTubers having their gifts stolen or thrown away or something, you had staff making VTubers take their masks off when entering the con in front of other people, all sorts of these weird things, security issues, just weird enforcement rules, and quite frankly, I don't think it makes anybody want to go to another TwitchCon. I'd be surprised if any big creators go to the next one, especially, I mean, it's going to take them years before Twitch can actually convince streamers that they can keep them safe again, because they've lost all trust. So it's stupid for him to even put that in here at this point. Now, in this first part where he's saying that he did not mean to suggest that Emiru had any responsibility whatsoever for the incident at TwitchCon, this is referring to an interview he did with a journalist where he basically said that it was Emiru's fault. I actually believe him when he says he didn't mean to say that. In fact, let's just take a look at the clip and see exactly what he said.
What happened?
The safety of our creators is the top priority. The challenge we face is a challenge in today's society. It's not limited to Twitch. It extends throughout our society. I do think that when you're live streaming, in many ways, since you control your community and you can ban people, you can make it so that those people that you don't want engaging with you and participating with you aren't there. Okay, it's very different. You know, when I use other short form content and people say all sorts of stuff, well, I can't stop that. But when I live stream, they basically don't bother me. Now, what happened yesterday obviously was something that we care deeply about, securing this environment. You know, we're looking very closely at everything that happened there, and I care deeply about Emmy. She's a friend of mine, and so I want to see how we can support her. This is just something we have to keep working on. I think everyone identifies our tools in terms of trust and safety as the leaders in the industry about helping creators, but that means there's always more work to be done because that's the world we live in now.
That's right. So the part that's causing backlash is him talking about how creators can control their communities and kind of implying that if Emiru had done that, she could have stopped this from happening to her. Obviously, that's crazy, and I don't know if he actually meant for it to come off that way. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt on that because I don't think that Dan Clancy is very good at communicating. I don't think that his response to any of this stuff has been very good. I wouldn't put it past him to just be making a mistake there because, let's just be honest, he made a lot of mistakes. I mean, if we just look at the first response that Twitch had to the Emiru situation, this tweet here, the safety and security of all those attending TwitchCon is our highest priority. The behavior displayed by the individual involved in the incident yesterday involving a high-profile streamer was completely unacceptable and deeply upsetting. So this was right after this happened. They put up this tweet like the next day, and they refused to name Emiru. They just called her a high-profile streamer, and they just said that it was unacceptable and deeply upsetting, despite the fact that their security staff, according to Emiru, did basically nothing to help her at the time. And then they went on to lie and say, in line with existing TwitchCon security protocols, law enforcement and event security were on site and responded to the incident. We immediately blocked this individual from returning to TwitchCon premises, and they are banned indefinitely from Twitch, both online and in-person events. We are coordinating with the impacted creators team and, per our standard protocols, continue to cooperate with any law enforcement investigations. This entire thing was basically a lie, according to Emiru. Basically, TwitchCon security did nothing to respond to the incident until hours later when they tried to track the guy down after she made a big stink about it, because obviously you would if you were Emiru. Twitch was not cooperating with law enforcement, according to Emiru, because they were refusing to turn over the man's name. And then on top of all of that, when they say here that the guy was banned indefinitely from Twitch, they only banned him indefinitely because Emiru's manager made a big stink about it, and probably some lawyers got involved, because originally, according to Emiru, Twitch said they were just going to ban him for 30 days from Twitch. That's right, you attack a streamer, one of the biggest female creators on Twitch, and you get a 30-day ban. That's what they wanted to do. Twitch is incompetent. Like, just genuinely incompetent. They said, we have increased security at the meet and greet attendee check-in point, and we'll have additional security personnel surrounding participating streamers. If you've RSVP'd for a meet and greet, please note that we are unable to accommodate +1s for the remainder of the event. Twitch has a zero tolerance policy for harassment or acts that inhibit the safety and security of our community. Obviously, this isn't true because they wanted to give the guy a 30-day ban, according to Emiru. And also this part here where they said they had increased security, I'm not even sure if that's true because Emiru said that at Extra Emily's meet and greet the next day, there was no increased security and that Emiru's own manager had to coordinate to get her extra security. So Twitch just mishandled this entire thing. Again, they got community noted for it here, but then over here we also had their second response, which I thought was slightly better, but still really bad. I mean, this is written from the perspective of Dan Clancy, and he said, first, I want to be upfront and take accountability for the security incident that occurred during Emiru's meet and greet. It shouldn't have happened, and we take that very seriously. We failed both in allowing it to occur and in our response following. We mismanaged our communications about the incident, and that includes the comments I made. I apologize to Emiru for all that took place. And it turns out that they are still mismanaging their communications about this incident because this new statement is awful. What are we doing moving forward? For meet and greets, we've begun a complete analysis of the incident that took place, as well as other issues that came to our attention after TwitchCon concluded. We're examining everything from how we do signups to the layout to the increased security controls. We're also doing a comprehensive review of overall safety and security, and we will be making updates for future TwitchCons. Well, we won't be sharing all security updates for privacy and safety reasons. We will keep our community informed about changes that directly impact attendees. We have heard concerns about IRL streaming at TwitchCon. Twitch has evolved over the years, and IRL streaming is a part of Twitch, but we need to ensure that TwitchCon meets the needs of a variety of participants. We will be reviewing how we handle IRL streaming at TwitchCon, and we'll have more to share soon. Finally, we got clear feedback on accessibility across the event. We're reviewing with our teams, including our production and venue staff, so that we're better equipped for future events. You put a lot of trust in us by attending TwitchCon, and we take our responsibility to keep you safe seriously. We know that TwitchCon means a lot to a lot of people, and it means a lot to us. Be on the lookout for more updates, and thanks for being a part of Twitch. Dan Clancy. So, even in the second response, which I thought was the best of the three, they spend only like a third of the thing talking about what happened to Emiru, and then they try to switch topics and talk about IRL streaming and accessibility, things that should just be their own tweets. Like, I don't understand why their communications are so awful. Twitch is a massive company. How do they not have like a single PR person person on staff that's moderately competent. Anyway, that's basically the whole story here. Twitch constantly mishandles all communications about this incident. I don't think Dan Clancy knows what he's doing, and I think Emiru has done a really good job at standing up for herself and taking Twitch to account. Hopefully Twitch continues to make changes for the better. I don't think they are because, well, they recently unbanned a certain female streamer who's accused of some pretty heinous things, but, you know, maybe they'll change their minds because I'm pretty sure they got some clear feedback about that. If we were to go down in the comments here, you're just gonna see all sorts of stuff about people who are calling them out over that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. Remember to like and subscribe. Have a great day, and God bless you.